Yo, what's up, guys? So I wanted to make an updated video on my Revenant, Oathkeeper, Monarque, Hunter build. I have all my armor, masterwork. I have a great stat splits now. I have pretty much god roll all my weapons, and it's pretty much min maxed. Um, yeah, I just want to show you why this is probably one of the best builds in the game. Um, And I have a couple clips that I want to show you guys. Here's the first one, and this will show pretty much why Le Monarch on the Hunter is really broken. So I'm just gonna let this play. So as you can see, this gun does not miss in the air. If you're aiming down sights while you're in the air, you don't miss. Uh, which is ridiculous. Like I'm gonna play that one more time, and now that you know that you can't miss while you're in the air, just check this out, man. This is ridiculous. So all I have to do is land 2 body shots. Headshots are great for team shotting. Land that in the air. Guy is fucking dead. Dude gets fucking domed. Another one in the air. I get pretty unlucky here. I shouldn't have peeked that. I thought I had enough time. But yeah, anyways, there's one more clip that I want to show you. This one's really nasty. Here we go. Here's just another example of what you can do. Like literally, like what is he gonna do? He doesn't expect me to be in the air like that, and I'm going to hit those shots. Body shot that dude. Kill him again while I'm in the air. Again, you just don't miss while you're in the air. Another thing, hunters allow you to do is you're able to have your bow charged. See, I'm starting to charge my bow while I'm in the air, and then I jump again, and it doesn't reset my bow. And the hunters are the only class that allows you to do that. Normally, if you try to double jump with your bow drawn, it'll reset the draw, but not on hunters. And that guy just dies because I'm charged with light and one shot him to the head. And charged with light, Monarque is really easy to hit someone in the head. It's pretty much just like um, what is it called? The Arbalist. Arbalist and the Monarch have like the same aim assist. But yeah, that's I just want to show you that. And then I'm gonna go over my build, and I'm gonna go over my weapons and stuff like that. So for my build, after the nerfs, nothing has changed. So running Gambler's Dodge for the melee reset, uh, I really use the melee a lot. So Gambler Dodge is pretty much the best. You saw a strafe jump. It just allows you to really just play in the air. Like nothing else in the game. The air control on this build is literally on par, and maybe even better than Top Tree Dawn. Top Tree Dawn is pretty ridiculous, but like the burst damage that we're allowed to do from anywhere on the map is ridiculous. Um, and again, like you saw, like I was able to out snipe someone because like who expects you to peek jumping? Like he literally just got double body shotted, uh, in the fucking air. And then Dustfield nades that didn't change. I knew Glacier NATO was gonna get nerfed. Dust Field is really for that supportive role, trying to get people out of cover and locking stuff down. Fragments didn't change. Whisper of Endurance. This is an absolute must. Increases your slow abilities and increases Dust Field grenade duration. Also gives you +10 strength. Uh, Whisper of Shards. I'm really only using this for the resilience to get me to 5 resilience. Um, and then like the other perk, like if you shatter someone else's grenade crystals, it gives you some grenade cooldown, which is nice. But again, we're only really using this for the extra 10 resilience to get me to 5. And 5 is where I want to be. This allows me to survive one headshot, two bodies from 120s. This also allows me to survive one shot body shots from high impact snipers inside of empowering rifts. Um, and yeah, a great segue to my stat splits. I think this is the best stat splits you can get. Um, there is one other thing that you can do, which is lowering your resilience to 2, and then lowering your mobility by a lot, and then putting it into discipline if you like to run use your dust field like more often. And then also what you could probably do is replace this with the whisper of damage, where if you freeze someone you get increased damage, and this will allow you to one shot someone with delay monarch more often. But I think this is fine. I like having high mobility. Again, this allows me to like play in the air more. Mobility increases your jump height. I like having uh, the dodge on cooldown a lot more often. I use dodge pretty often for to get out of situations. And then I like having 5 resilience. I'm fine with having like a high resilience. Like um uh again, if you like the higher discipline, you can go for that. But I am totally fine with having this. Um, And then last thing, I run 40 intellect, and the reason why I'm doing that is because there are two types of builds in this game. There are 100 intellect builds and 30 intellect builds, and what I mean by that is there are builds in the game that are uh, that like to have a lot of intellect because they scale really good in game, and and what I mean by this is like if you're able to have a lot more supers, like good supers, and in your game, then you get a lot more free kills. So an example of this would be Chaos Reach, and the reason why Chaos Reach scales really well into in game is because after you use your first super, you're able to stop it prematurely and get some of your super on cooldown. So pretty much after you use your first super, every super afterwards has a 40% cooldown reduction on it. And that's why you want 100 intellect on that build, is because of that 40% cooldown reduction, you're able to really just y- uh get a lot more supers during the game. And because the super is good and it scales really good into the end game, that's why you want 100 intellect. Another 100 intellect build is Spectral Blades. Because the super lasts really long, you're able, in comp, because the super lasts so long, you can get almost like 2 team wipes. And if you can get 2 team wipes during the game more often, one or two more times, like that's you pretty much just win off of your super kills. And that's why like a lot of builds right now, like Chaos Reach is really strong because you're able to just uh win the end game. You just like it's okay to take your time, take it a little bit slower, and just play for super because it scales so well in the end game. Another one is Behemoth. Because the super lasts so long, you're able to get a lot of kills uh, and you want and you want that more often, like more often long lasting supers. And then there are the 30 intellect supers. And what I mean by this is a great example is last season, Top Tree Stormcaller was actually pretty good. And the reason why Top Tree Stormcaller is a 30 intellect build is because of the perk Transcendence, meaning you only want to pop your super if you have both your grenade and melee on cooldown. And if you have 100 intellect, but you have really low discipline and strength, then it's just a waste because you would have to wait for your melee and grenade to come on cooldown, and there would be no reason to have a faster super, right? And then also Top Tree Stormcaller has a really good neutral game. They had arguably the best grenades in the game, which were pulse grenades with arc web at the time. It's now no longer the best grenade in the game. Stasis is, but and then it had a great melee. Like the aim assist on the melee was really strong. Um, and if you had like high discipline and high strength, that means you would actually be able to pop your super more often because you wouldn't have to be waiting on your strength and grenade to come on cooldown. Um, and that's a 3 intellect build. And for this build, it's the same thing. Even though I have it at 4, um, it's still at 5 minutes. So if I was to switch to the light subclasses, stasis subclasses actually have a longer cooldown. So again, 3 intellect at 5 minutes, and for stasis, it's still at 5 minutes. And the reason why you want, why I say 3 intellect builds and 100 intellect builds, that's because you only have to put one tier into intellect to get 50% of the total amount of cooldown that you can get. So what I mean by that, hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. But if you masterwork all of your armor pieces, the lowest tier that you can get is 20, because the lowest number you can get is 2 plus 2, so that's 4 times 5, that's 20. So the lowest you can get is 20 with all masterwork items, or all masterwork armor. And so you only have to get one tier into intellect to get 50% of the total amount of cooldown. So tier 10 intellect removes 3 minutes from your super. Tier 3 removes a minute and 50 seconds, or a minute and 30 seconds. So, um, just statistically, that's where you want to be. At 50% or 100%. Um, and now, like, I'm not saying to run tier 3 on, like, Behemoth, right? Like I was saying, like, you have to know what builds are tier 3 and tier 10 intellect. Um, so we'll just go with my armor. High energy fire, SMG targeting, fastball, SMG loader. I like SMG loader because Cold Front has pretty low reload speed. Um, Taking charge, again. I want to get higher energy fire to one shot with my lame monarch. So if someone drops a an orbital light, then I could one shot someone with my bow. You probably want uh 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 bow unflinching. This just allows you to win more 120 1v1s, or dad rifle, pulse rifle 1v1s, or scout rifles with high caliber rounds and stuff like that. But um, I just don't have the energy for it. I could probably, like I said, I could probably move around some perks, but it costs a lot of ascendant shards to do that, and I really don't care to grind out ascendant shards. Um, so there's gonna be a lot in this video. Like I said, uh, hunters are allowed to be able to jump while like having their bow charged. Um, The Le Monarque has pretty much 100% accuracy while in the air. I have gone over the two types of builds in this game: 100 intellect builds, and 30 intellect builds. And I think the last thing is going to be traction, because I'm not running any special weapon. I don't need to run like double scavenger or whatever. Traction is actually pretty underrated. A lot of people say like, oh, it's really only good on console, but I think it's actually better on PC than it is on console. And the reason because of this is because PCs are allowed to do 180s pretty much instantly, where consoles it takes a second. And how traction works is, let's say I'm holding W, sprinting forward, and I instantly do a 180. Well, what will happen is that there will be momentum carried from the direction that I was running, so backwards. And it'll take a second to reduce that momentum that is going backwards and change it forwards. And what traction does is it reduces that amount of time of reducing the backwards momentum when I instantly do a 180. If that makes any sense, hopefully that makes sense. And then I run Shotgun Scavenger for if I ever play Trials and I ever get the Trial Shotgun, and if I ever use the Trial Shotgun, then I have Shotgun Scavenger on. I'm not going to be running Le Monarque with a sniper or whatever. And then Radiant Light with the Powerful Friends is a must in this meta. And the last thing, Charge Harvester. This perk is honestly extremely good on with the Le Monarque, because it you only need 4 to 6 assists or kills, and the Le Monarque is literally the best assist gun in the game. If you thought the Thorn was the best assist gun in the game, the Le Monarque is better. And because well, one, it has the same burn, and then two, it's because the amount of burst damage you do 175 to the head, and so if if I hit someone in the head, they're gonna be low for quite a bit of time, and then someone can just like pepper them, and then they die, and then I get the assist. So Charge Harvester is ridiculously strong. And then for my weapons, Cold Front. I think SMGs with the Le Monarque are the best way to go. Um, you could go like 120s to be able to like one shot someone really quickly. Um, but I just found that it's not consistent up close. If you try to hit someone with your Le Monarque and then you switch to your hand cannon and then you miss, well, just don't miss. But if you do miss, then your TTK gets decreased by a lot. But with SMGs, like being able to switch to your SMG, and then just get that kill, is really consistent. Uh, and uh, and yeah, and I have a God roll cold front. um, 750s, I would argue, is the best archetype for SMGs. And this is just because of their range, their TTK, and uh, uh, their ableness to scale really good when it comes to headshots. And I'll go over that in just a second, but I just want to go over my weapons. So, um, here's my rule, pretty much God rule. I want quick draw. I got super lucky with the dragon fly perk being switched to swashbuckler. Swashbuckler is the best perk here. You could get like rampage, but I think swashbuckler is way better because I'm always using my melees. And then I could have gotten more range here with Accurized Round, but I think Alloy Mag is number two. Uh, because I only have 26 in the mag, this allows me to just get back in the fight so much quicker. And then I'm using Icarus Script because I literally just spam air shots. I'm constantly in the air. Um, Small bore, I think small bore is probably the best perk in this slot just because it gives you overall the most amount of numbers. Even though hammer forged rifling has higher range, uh, small bore gives you more numbers. So hammer forge gives you 9 range, and then small bore gives you 7 range and 7 stability. So like 14 versus 9 stats in total. And stability, like you probably want higher stability, so then your accuracy, your bloom stays pretty small. But I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of like testing or whatever. I really don't care. I'll just go for range or whatever I'm feeling. I'll just switch to it. Like I said, I'll go back to why 750s are, I believe, the best archetype for SMGs. But I want to go over my sword real quick. So for my heavy, I run sword, and like I said in my last video about this build, the reason why I run sword is because Uh, I don't like running a machine gun if I don't have a shotgun. So I would just rather let someone else pick up heavy and then have my sword to be able to third person peek. But then I run Temptation's Hook because if I do have to pick up heavy, it's probably the best sword to shut down supers. You have Falling Guillotine, which is pretty good, but yeah, I'll just go over my god roll, Temptation's Hook. So Jagged Edge, you want to increase your damage as much as possible. It doesn't matter about the amount of ammo you have. So this perk gives you the most amount of ammo that you can have, and this perk gives you the least amount of ammo that you can have. And it doesn't matter which one you have; you still get the same amount of ammo when you pick up a heavy brick in PvP. So if it doesn't matter about the ammo, then might as well just go for the most amount of damage. And if damage doesn't do anything in PvP, then these perks literally don't matter. Burst Guard, this is the best perk, best guard perk, because it gives you the highest amount of resistance possible. And you want that to be able to survive. Like when you put up your guard, you want to survive. Uh, Supers, you want to survive shotgun shots, you want to survive sniper shots. So, yeah, you want the most amount of resistance. Tireless Blade, this is the only perk in the slot that actually does anything for you. And what that is if you get a double kill with your heavy attack, it'll give you another heavy attack, which is pretty nice. And then Vorpal Weapon, this perk actually doesn't do anything. But if this gets fixed, then this is probably what you want. And then um, there's nothing else in this perk slot that does anything, so might as well just go for Vorpal. So if they change it, then you'll have Vorpal. Um, but there's actually two glitches that's going on. So how this sword works is when you throw out the projectile, when it hits something, it doesn't do any damage on hit. But what it does is it spawns a damage over time cloud, and then that cloud will start to do damage. And the damage is 84 damage over time per tick against players not in their super, but then also does 84 damage per tick against people and their supers. So there's two glitches going on with this. First glitch is that the damage over time bypasses supers resilience or resistance. So like even behemoth titans have like a 60% damage resistance. It just bypasses that. Um, and then it also Vorpal Weapon doesn't increase your damage. So yeah, the two glitches. And then I run radar boost, so it just allows me to see farther on my radar when I switch to my third person peeking. Okay, so um, actually, I want to go over some other perks or other weapons that are some options other than cold front if you don't have a god roll cold front. So I have a whispering slab. This is just a swashbuckler bow. I like swashbuckler bows. I think they're fun. If you get a melee kill, then you're able to just chain one shot headshots. Breach light. I have a god roll breach light, max range with outlaw multi kill clip. I don't like this gun because uh, it has the same glitch as Warcliffe Coil, where if you jump or if you use your double jump while you shoot your burst, it will actually stop the burst. So if you jump right after you shoot your gun, you'll only shoot one shot instead of two. You like your double jump interrupts the second shot. You'll only shoot one shot. It's the same glitch as Warcliffe Coil. If you know that glitch where I think you have like 9 rockets that come out of a burst. If you jump right after you shoot your first rocket, only one rocket will come out. And then Antiope, it's just year one with Kill Clip. I pretty much will never run this, even though Kill Clip is nice. It doesn't have Icarus grip. Steady Hand, I just like this because it has quick draw. It allows me to, if I want to, I could switch to it like on a like really long range map and like try to go for like instant kills with the 120 Monarque like switch. And then a good alternative to the cold front is the escape velocity, and this is because of the lightweight frame. It gives you 2 extra perks or 2 extra levels in your mobility, and if you're not running charge harvester, then I would have 100 mobility here if I ran escape velocity without charge harvester. It has quick draw. You probably want hip fire grip here, which is pretty good. And then it also has zoom. So uh, even though I don't have a range perk here, you can get pretty good range. And then also because it has a pretty high rate of fire, it's super forgiving if you miss one shot. So yeah, that's why uh, you would run like a 900 RPM or whatever. And then I got like a Aikilos. Aikilos is pretty fun on Hunger or whatever. Seventh Seraph. This is the only Seventh Seraph I've ever gotten with the range masterwork. That's pretty sad. But yeah, so I wanna go over why the 750 archetype SMGs are the what I think the best archetype in the game. Um, So as you see here, 750s, they have the same TTK as 900s, but they are a lot more forgiving. You don't, you can miss one crit. Uh, so it's a 89%. Um, and then if we go over here, this is the lowest amount of crits you need to hit. So for the 900 RPM, at 0.73 seconds, you need to hit a 83% headshot. But for the 750s, you only need to hit 60% headshots for a 0.73 TTK, which is pretty ridiculous, right? Um, which is already lower than the 600s zero point 0.8 TTK at a 78%. And then if we go further, it's even better. We're a 0.83, which is faster than a 140 RPM hand cannon. You only need to hit 36% headshots versus the 900 RPM. Even though it has a little bit faster TTK at 0.03 seconds faster, you have to hit pretty much almost double, right? And I mean, look at this number: 0.83 at 36% versus a point 0.8 at 78%. You know, uh, it just scales really well into in game, and then or not in game. It just scales really good. Percentage wise, zero point 0.9 seconds is literally 17%. I 100% of fact, like, you are gonna hit more than 2 crits, like, you know, and that's a 0.9 second. Anyways, uh, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Kind of a long video, but I wanted to make an update on my build because I've been really enjoying it. Um, And I'll probably show you a little bit of swashbuckler because swashbuckler is freaking broken. But yeah, like the video and subscribe.